Everything comes to us at the prescribed moment to some degree. It appeared that the universe and the higher realm had all agreed that our existence was never good enough to last forever, to stay, and everything must come to an end at some point, in time one day. And so I took a deep breath as I answered the knock at the door and saw a ship waiting to convey me to the other side of life's shore. Despite ignoring it for the entirety of life's unmarked highway, we cannot escape or deny that we will have to meet up someday. The universe appraises us to live life on our knees, but love picks us up and roars into our hearts with a desire and a resolve to raise our cup. But when the human soul needs to be replenished with the elixir of life, our bodies grow weak and our knees buckle, then the soul takes flight. At some point on the way, the source of our being releases our hand. It has fulfilled the cosmic will of leading us through this open land. Only the churning holds the secrets of what comes to us from above, and for now, I shall let go and step ashore in the custody of our love. Everything comes to us at the prescribed moment to some degree. It appeared that the universe and all the higher realms had all agreed that our existence was never good enough to last forever, to stay, and everything must come to an end at some point in time, one day. So I took a deep breath as I answered the urgent knock at the door and happily boarded that to convey me to the other side of life's shore, for I believe that each human comes with only one destiny. It is only love that holds the net karma of what happens to me. Sometimes I wonder how it would be when it is time to bid my goodbye. At times I ponder the question of when and how I will actually die, the day, the time, the year, the season, and even of the weather outside. What will be the circumstances, my final condition that the rebirth implies? I often think in my solitude of today whether I will feel lonelier than this, or whether, at that age, I would not even care about the unknowns that exist. After all, I am tired. I want to rest as my bones creak and my body pains. I have done all that I wanted to do, and I want to get out of life's game. Sometimes I wonder about when it is time to bid the earth goodbye. Flashing across a screen in my head, I ponder whether the soul actually fly. Oftentimes I wonder that maybe I will be happy to welcome this day, knowing that I will be leaving the hurt of this life and I will be on my way. I often wonder whose voice I would hear, whether from far away or near, singing one of my favorite songs, or whispering sweet nothingness to my ear, whose touch I would feel, whose fingers will reach for my fragile hands and arouse reminiscences of the good times when we walked the land. Oftentimes I wonder who or what I would see when it came to the end, whether in person or imaginary hallucinations, of the enemy or a friend. Would it be some things that I have never seen before, like in a dream? Would it be that of my past, events, places, and people rushing in a stream? I surmise that I will not see much, for the mind would have been too tired, far too depleted, too dull and weak to recollect those images or inquire, unable to take a breath to talk, unable to muster the courage to even deny a lover's great dispossession and the consequences which it wants to hide. I am leaning toward believing that the mind will be selective, in fact and naturally, choose those reminiscences that had the greatest impact. Perhaps love with unsatisfied longing, a love that remained locked in hurt, someone's touch that it craves, a fire that burns and never burnt itself out. Maybe I will see her standing by the gateway, a fabric of light and shadow, eyes that beckon me, and a soul so pure it shines a light for my soul to glow. Smiles as I call her name that sat in wait on the edge of the last breath I take, the only word my heart remembers, and the final gesture of love that I make. Sometimes I wonder how it would be when it is time to bid my goodbye. At times I ponder the question of when and how I would actually die, the day, the time, the year, the season, and even of the weather outside. What will be the circumstances, my final condition that the rebirth implies? On the unsure pathway to our final destination and rebirth routine, love is what purifies the soul. It is that which meets us in between. Tonight I sit alone and have no plans. Feeling somewhat blue, I huddle myself and for a moment let my mind slip away from you. If I had $1 million to spend, I thought, what would I do? Would I travel to see the open world? Where would I like to be? Should I purchase a ship and sail out there to conquer the great sea? Would I acquire a big mansion with many rooms and an oversized lot? Would I buy many fancy cars, green, blue, and a red that were very hot? But then I discerned that I had a small house and some ground. I had a silver grey car, and that got me quite comfortably around. I am afraid of the deep, rough seas, so sailing on those waters was out. Sure, I would like to see the varied world, to travel about. But then I realized that you were everything I needed. My universe. You were a world that was enough for me in my traverse. In our fleeting existence of vast desires and deep longings, the abridged stories of love are the ones that remain as our belongings. You are the deep mysteries of my rivers and my oceans and seas. In your breath I feel the warmth of the sea salt mixed with the breeze. I bask in your splendor as you brush against my face. The universe gives a lot of things, then takes them without saying why. But true love is the only truth that stays, and our hearts cannot deny. You are the scenic mountain, standing tall and ruggedly endowed, yet full of charm, with your outstretched fingers touching the clouds. With a luscious valley, rich and fertile where attractive wildflower bloom, I needed nothing more if I had you, and my breath of your perfume. It is love that draws life near to us. Then it stands to watch from afar as the heart dwells in between, and all the doors are left ajar. Your transient essence took me back to 1,000 rebirths and more. You are the ancient civilizations of the world that my mind restore. Your steps prod me of the cobbled streets, of the city that is old and vast. Your eyes show my ancestors of 1,000 rebirths and centuries past. Souls come and go from our lives as we walk away from closed doors. Only love lets us return to the hearts and places we have been before, even if it is only our longing minds that yearn to explore. So I will sit here alone and reminisce about the memories I had of you. Pretend you are here with me. Do whatever our hearts want to do. Have some food together. Perchance feed each other with our hands. Maybe have some wine, sing along to love songs, and even dance. The circular built of the universe brought us here together, undone. But it is the perfect love bond that keeps the burden glued as one. The pleasures of the world, it seems, can be bought and sold with gold, but the heart can only be had by trading in the pure love from the soul. So tonight I sit alone and have no plans. Feeling somewhat blue, I recline, and for a moment I allow my mind to slip away from you, and I thought, if I had $1 million to spend, what would I do? But then I recognized that you are my world, all that fills my universe. I had you, and I was rich. All of my bad karmas were reimbursed. You are everything I ever deserved, and enough that my soul desired.